How to build a relationship with your Filipina. In this video, I'm going to give you important information on how to build a relationship with a Filipina that will give the relationship every chance of lasting long term. Again, so often on my YouTube videos, I hear guys say that their relationship with a Filipina all seemed well at the start, but after some months the relationship broke down. These men start to tell you how bad Filipinas are because these guys simply don't want to take their part of the responsibility for why the relationship may have broken down. It's only when you start chatting to these guys and asking them questions about how the relationship started and progressed, looking at the timeline, that you start to realize that these guys were rather reckless from the very start, and the relationship was doomed from that point on. But the sad reality is that for many of these guys, they just don't want to see the reality or admit how they were rather careless from the start and failed to use any common sense. Make no mistake that building any relationship with any person from any country always takes time, at least for those that want success. Very few relationships that are rushed will work out long term. What do I mean by long term? To me, long term really is a good 15 years or more. Anything that is put together in a rushed fashion is not going to be your best work. And the same can certainly be said around relationships, and especially so with a Filipina, where you also have communication, religious in some cases, and cultural issues to add into the mix. Stop right here and ask yourself this question honestly. How well can you know a Filipina who you've only just met online, or even if you've met in person in 1 or 2 months, or even 6 months for that matter? The truth is, unless one is delusional, that you really won't know the Filipina all that well for a minimum of 6 to 12 months before you could safely say you feel comfortable around who she really is. If she's honest and genuine with a loving and caring soft nature, you just don't get to make that call in a month or two, because anyone can put on an act for that amount of time. I guess the purpose of this video is really to give information to guys looking for a Filipina to date and possibly to marry, or for those already in a relationship with a Filipina, to understand that no matter how young, fun and beautiful the Filipina is, it will take time to get to know her, so you'll have a good chance of a successful long-term relationship. Taking your time is absolutely the key message for this video and many other videos I've done around pre-dating or dating a Filipina. Be warned right here that if you rush the relationship and find yourself sending her money or expensive gifts, or even buying her land or a house within 6 to 12 month period, especially if you haven't even met her in person, then you are certainly heading for danger, and you'll almost certainly end up looking and feeling like a fool. Remember this: the Philippines is a developing country with many people living in poverty. Some of these Filipinas make an art out of love scams, looking for lonely, vulnerable guys as their way of living. Their options for employment are limited, and this is survival in such a country. And they know their good looks and smile will get them exactly what they want. As I say, if you want a genuine Filipina, you need to take the time to find her, and then take time to get to know her. Build your relationship with her slowly, and tell her why you're doing this at the very start. That way she'll know that you're very serious in looking for a life partner. If she's genuine, she will appreciate this. Reassure her that while you are considering her as your partner, that you won't be considering or chatting to any other women. This should then allow her to feel good and not feel pressured to rush the relationship because she may think you'll find someone else. Reassurance to the Filipina straight up is very important. If you find that the Filipina is trying to rush things, then slow her down and remind her why you want to take things slowly, and again reassure her that you have no intention of chatting to other Filipinas whilst you're getting to know her much better. If she persists to escalate things, or she's asking or hinting for money, or giving you heartfelt stories to make you feel compelled to give her money, then you need to say goodbye to her and move on and look for another and stop wasting your time. It can be very easy to get disheartened, but sooner or later it will be well worth it when you find the right Filipina. During the process of building the relationship, you need to take a keen interest in her and find out much about her life, her family, friends and co-workers. And you should also be open to sharing your life with her in all areas. It's a two-way street which goes a long way to building a strong relationship down the track. If you and the Filipina both let the relationship develop slowly and naturally, you'll find that nothing will feel forced, and the interest you had in her at the start will grow as you move forward in the relationship, and over time interest will turn to fondness and finally love. Who knows how long this takes to get to that point? Perhaps 6 months, but perhaps 2 years. There are no hard and fast rules on that because all relationships and people are different. My advice at this point is that if you feel like you've fallen in love with her before you've even met her, yes, I say before you've met her, then I would strongly suggest that you're confusing fondness for love. This can easily happen, especially when one has not been out of a previous relationship for very long, or one is feeling very lonely in their life. Don't fall into this trap. You really do need to meet someone in person before one can realistically say that they are in love. I know many guys who go looking for a Filipina may be lonely or just in a hurry to have someone in their life. Some lucky guys who rush into a relationship very quickly may get very lucky and it can work out, but a very large percentage of those rushed relationships will fail dismally. If you're seriously looking for a Filipina for life, then you need to consider carefully what I've outlined here, and in summary, it is rather simple. Take your time to get to know your Filipina. Take your time to really get to know her online or in person. Don't send her money, gifts, etc. until you've met her in person and you're sure you know a lot about her and you feel within yourself that she is genuine. If she is genuine, she'll be happy to wait, but reassure her that you're not chasing after other women. And remember, as I said earlier, building a relationship takes time, commitment and patience. You need to learn much about her as she does about you. I'd envisage that you will need to fly to the Philippines 2 or 3 times for several weeks on each visit before you'll have a good understanding if she's the one for you or not. Then if you're planning in the future for her to come and live with you in your country and she's agreeable to that, that is if the relationship continues, then you'll need to bring her to your country if at all possible to see how she manages the extreme change. This will either bring out the best or the worst in her and possibly you as well. Starting off online and then visiting her in the Philippines and finally bringing her to your country for a visit, all done over time, is a natural way where you both have been allowed to get to learn about each other, will pay dividends a big time, and you'll be creating a very solid foundation for a long-term, loving and caring relationship for well into the future. If you would like more information on relationships with Filipinas, then check out the card on screen now. Feel free to like and share the video, subscribe and press the bell icon for future videos. Thanks for watching, take care, and bye for now.